Welcome everyone, my name is Jason Hines and I'm coming to you on behalf of ThunderObsessed.com. We're going to try and do these about every Sunday to kind of give you a recap of what happened in Thunderland the past week, kind of give you a little preview of what's to come and what's on tap for the following week. So let's get started. Last Monday, the Thunder played the Detroit Pistons and blew them out of the gym with a 99-79 win. And it really wasn't even that close. The Thunder took control of this game early in the first quarter, but I think the main story of this game is how well James Harden played. He scored 24 points in only 25 game minutes. And that shows you what a fantastic player Harden is. He's a very rhythmic player. He gets in a rhythm, and he's very difficult to stop. He played very poorly, in my opinion, on the road trip, on the Eastern Coast road trip, in Washington and New Jersey and Boston. He didn't have his best games, and then he came back to Oklahoma City, really fed off the crowd, and he had a fantastic game. And I think that just goes to show you how well James Harden is capable of playing this year. In my opinion, I think he will be selected to the All-Star team. I think the coaches will select him as an All-Star reserve, and I think it's very deserving. The way that he's been playing this season with Nick Collison on that pick-and-roll game is, I guarantee you, opposing teams, they spend quite a bit of time scouting that particular pick and roll game, and I think that is a huge thing to say about a huge compliment for a player, is to say that the other team spends a significant amount of time scouting your particular skills. So I think James Harden will enjoy a lot of success this season, both individually and as a team. Wednesday, the Thunder were again at home, played the Hornets, got the victory 101-91. This was a very frustrating game to watch because the Thunder were very, very sloppy. They didn't play with a whole lot of energy the first three quarters. They turned the ball over a lot, which has become an increasing theme about this team, is they continue to turn the ball over. And on the road trip, the Thunder did not rebound very well. And they came back home, and these past three games they have rebounded the ball very well. And I think the coaching staff needs to address the turnovers, because if the Thunder get the turnovers under control, I don't think there's a whole lot of teams that can beat the Thunder in a 7-game series. But you just can't give freebies to other teams, especially the good teams, because they will beat you. But in the Hornets game, Serge Ibaka was a beast. He almost had a double-double before halftime. Honestly, before the first quarter was over, I think he had 7 rebounds and over 10 points in the first quarter. He was really, really hitting the boards hard, and that continued in Friday night's game against the Warriors. I think in the Warriors game on Friday, 8 of his 12 rebounds came on the offensive glass. And this is a huge development in Ibaka's game, because if he can consistently hit down that jumper, knock down that 15 to 20 foot jumper on the pick and pop from Russell Westbrook, and he can be a monster on the offensive glass and get several putbacks a game, that is a huge offensive spark for the Thunder that can come outside of the main three, Harden, Westbrook, and Durant. So I think that it shows that Ibaka's getting more comfortable down low. I think he's kind of gradually made the transfer from his experience in the EuroLeague this past summer. I think he's kind of getting the hang of things now. And as I mentioned, the Thunder did win versus the Warriors 120-109. And this game was very, very similar to the Hornets game. The Thunder did not play under control for the first three quarters. But in the fourth quarter, the Thunder just took it to another level offensively. I think there was a span there in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes to go where the Thunder were only leading by 6, and the game was kind of in the balance. And then the Thunder just turned the offense on. Durant hit a 3. Russell Westbrook threw a beautiful outlet pass to James Harden, who lobbed it to Durant for the easy dunk. And then Westbrook drove the lane, got fouled, made the layup, made the free throw, and before you knew it, the Thunder had a double-digit lead and really put the game away. You know, the Thunder are so explosive that if they just took care of the basketball for the entire game and had 10 or fewer turnovers, I really don't think very many teams in this league have a shot at beating the Thunder. That is a very, very good thing, but also it's very alarming that the Thunder, almost 20 games into the season, are still having problems turning the ball over. But that was Thunder were 3-0 last week. I thought overall they played well. They rebounded the ball much better. I think looking forward, the ongoing theme of the season will be: are the Thunder rebounding well, and are the Thunder taking care of the ball? Because the assist numbers have continued to rise. I think in the past 3 games they've had 20 or more turnover, or excuse me, not turnover, but assists, 20 more assists. So that's a good trend to be on. So I think take care of the ball, rebound well, and I think the Thunder are going to have a lot of success in the upcoming week. The Thunder have a pretty tough schedule this next week. It'll be a result of very, very good play if they win all 4. But they have Monday night versus the Clippers in LA. Wednesday night they play in Dallas versus the Mavs. Friday they're back home at Thunderdome. They play the Grizzlies for the 3rd time this season. And then Saturday they fly to San Antonio to play the Spurs. These 4 teams were all playoff teams. All 4 will likely be playoff teams this year. The Clippers didn't make the playoffs last year, but likely will this year. But the game that I'm most excited to watch is Monday night versus the Clippers. This will be a late tip-off, but it'll be one I'm glad to watch, glad to stay up and watch, because one of my favorite matchups to watch in the entire league is Russell Westbrook versus Chris Paul. They are very different types of point guards. Westbrook is kind of in your face, drive the lane, be very aggressive, and Chris Paul is more of a, let's try and get everyone involved. I'll take my shot if it comes to me. But I think Russell Westbrook strives to be the best point guard in the NBA, if not the best player in the NBA. That's the fire that drives him, is to be the best that he can be. And right now, Chris Paul, in my opinion, is the best point guard in the league. So it's a great matchup. I think there's the contrast in styles will be very fun to watch. And of course, Blake Griffin is always a joy to watch. Him being native of Oklahoma. It's great to watch him. And Serge Ibaka will definitely have his hands full. I think that he will be up for the task, but he'll definitely have to play fantastic man-on-man defense, something that is not necessarily Ibaka's strong suit. But then, of course, the Mavs will always be a great game. They're the one that knocked us out of the playoffs last year. Dirk Nowitzki probably will not be back in the lineup. He's still resting some injuries, some ailments. But Friday night versus the Grizzlies, Thunder have already beat them twice, so the Grizzlies will be out to get the Thunder. There was a very contentious playoff series. It's kind of a rivalry in the making. There'll always be a close game, always be an entertaining game to watch. So I'll be excited to watch the Grizzlies on Friday night. And of course, the Spurs on Saturday. They have not played well on the road this year, but they have played very, very well at home. So the Thunder will have their hands full. DeJuan Blair and Tim Duncan always bring their A game in regards to rebounding. So the Thunder that'll be a huge rebounding test for the Thunder. That's kind of what's on tap for this upcoming week. I think if the Thunder go 3-1 this week, I think it'll be a success. If they go 4-0, I think it really tells us a lot about how good this team is this year. Now, I think if they go 2-2, I honestly don't think that they played as well as they could. And of course, if they win any fewer than 2, it'll definitely be a failure. But this week should be exciting. There'll be a lot of Thunder to watch, and hopefully I'll see you next week. Have a good day, and go Thunder.